Kelly Stewart here with Bryan Leonard of WagerTalk.com, and we're telling you 3 MLB teams that are going to go under their season win total.
It's unfortunate for myself in that regard because I am a former Clevelander, and I don't think the Guardians are going to reach their number this year. They've done a tremendous job, great coaching, great front office, but they just have not done anything to help the team this year. I'm going to play them under. The current number is 82.5. Former Indians were very fortunate last season, winning 92 games. The Pythagorean win total should have been 90 based on runs scored and allowed. Management, as I mentioned, they've been very frugal over the years, but have taken it to a new low this season. Letting the heart and soul of the team, Josh Naylor, leave for Arizona will be a terrible blow. Did not like that at all. They now have zero protection in the lineup for Jose Ramirez, by far the best player on the team. You know, usually programs that don't want to spend big bucks are able to employ good defensive players at a reasonable price. That's not the case here. The Guardians were forced to put the two of Carlos Santana, Kyle Manzardo, and Yerkenzi Knoll on the field. Santana has been a pretty good defensive player. He was very good last year, but he is 38 years old, so that is a concern. He may be 39 by this point, come to think of it. But Mazzardo and Noel are basically DHs, and one of the two is going to have to play the field. Starting rotation, other than Tanner Bibee, is unproven. A retread such as Luis Ortiz Jr., who we brought over from Pittsburgh, Ben Lively, and Jacob Junis from Kansas City will be counted on for to be innings eaters. Gavin Williams and Tristan McKenzie have not lived up to the hype. A lot of people out there like Gavin Williams. I like him too, but he just has not pitched well in the major leagues. And Tristan McKenzie's coming off another injury. That's something to be aware of. Shane Bieber is probably the second best pitcher on the team, but he's not going to be around until the second half as he had Tommy John surgery and won't be available till the All-Star break. We all know about the bullpen here for the Cleveland Guardians. Last year was unworldly. The only strength of the players fell apart in the postseason. Especially closer Emmanuel Clase, who posted an all-time great regular season, but blew up in the playoffs. Cade Smith was a major find last year, but he's in only his second season, and his home run rate is surely to escalate. I believe he only allowed 0.2% actually 0.2% of his fly balls to go for home runs last year. That's not going to happen again. The rest of the bullpen all had career years, and as we know, bullpens from year to year are very unstable. In fact, the Cleveland management has said this year that they're not going to pitch any of the 4 guys that are the keys in the bullpen till later on in the preseason. They know how worn out they got. They all had 80 appearances last year, just a tremendous amount. Cleveland's had a tremendous front office, as I mentioned before. They've been able to repeat on a consistent basis, but unfortunately, that history comes to a close this year. Every team in the division improved in the offseason. Even the White Sox are now have one of the best minor league systems in baseball. Everyone except the Guardians, who did really nothing to improve this team. I'm playing Cleveland under the 82.5.
All right, Bryan, you have 2 other teams that we would love to hear about. One of them I'm not happy about. You mentioned you were not happy about. But this one is going to be really interesting. And, well, we're going to go ahead and apologize to our friend Sean Alvarez.
Good guy, Sean, but he's had a lot of success in the teams that he follows, so he'll be all right. I'm from Cleveland. All we have is the one championship for the Cavaliers, so give me a little bit of a break here. But yeah, San Diego under 85.5. The Padres shocked a lot of people last year by winning 93 games, but the Pythagorean numbers show it should have been 90. Either way, a very successful season for the Padres, but we expect them to take a step back this year. Jackson Merrill came out of nowhere to have an amazing rookie season last year. You would expect some regression from such a young player in his second season where people know what to expect out of him now. Jerison Profar had a breakout year last year, and he left for more money. I can't blame him for that. He was a highly touted his entire career, but never showed till last year. The Padres gave him a chance, and good for him. Unfortunately, they didn't want to pay his money, so he had to go back on the road. I believe he's playing for the Braves now, so that's a big advantage for Atlanta. He also had Hyesung Kim, Just left for his talents elsewhere. He was a player for them that hit, over, I believe, 25 home runs just a couple of years ago, but he was injured last year. And Ho-Sung Kim had to go to Tampa Bay, so we'll see how he does there. He's not ready to play yet, but I think that's going to cost them as the season goes on here. From a pitching standpoint, Joe Musgrove, one of the best starters, is out for the year. And Tyler Scott left for the rival Dodgers, and he was one of their big keys in the bullpen the second half of the season when they brought him in from Miami. So that leaves an older starting lineup with 5 players in their 30s. We always have to worry about the health of Fernando Tatis Jr., who, according to Fangraphs, is expected for 658 at-bats. I just can't see that happening. This is a guy who plays hard and seems to get hurt a lot. I don't think he's going to get to that range of the 658 the Fangraphs thinks he will. Also, Xander Bogaerts is coming off an injury-filled year, and Luis Ariz, non-existent power at first base, it really comes to hurt him. He's a good singles hitter, but at first base, you got to have some power. And this is a team that needs that power. So that's a concern for me. The pitching staff looks solid. Cease and King leading the way, no doubt about it. But Yu Darvish is starting to break down here. This is 39 years old this season, and he's been pitching a long time over in Japan and now in the National League. Nick Pivetta was a nice signing, but he's always had home run troubles. We love the back end of the bullpen with Suarez, Adam, and Estrada, but the long to mid relievers are questionable. To be truly transparent here, we took the Padres under last year. That was a loser for us. I believe we were a year too early on that. With the improvement from the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, and Giants, that regression starts now for the Padres. We're going to play the San Diego team under 85.5.
All right, one more team that you need to be looking at betting. Their season win total under is
Pittsburgh Pirates. I really want Pittsburgh to do well. Like to bet on the underdogs, but I do not like the pitching staff here beyond the first 3 or 4 guys. But the main problem is the starting rotation is good the first 3 or 4, but after that they've got nothing. And as we talked about, injuries happen. But like we previously talked about Cleveland, the ownership in Pittsburgh is very frugal. The 2 big signings in the offseason were Tommy Pham and Adam Frazier. Both decent veterans, especially Pham, but the 37-year-old outfielder seems to play on a different team or 2 every season. He's listed as a leadoff hitter right now after playing for 7. That's 7 different teams in the past 3 years. For him to be your leadoff hitter, that tells you a lot about this Pittsburgh offense. Not exactly an ideal situation. They also have 38-year-old Andrew McCutchen. He returns as the cleanup hitter. His WRC plus is expected to be 3% worse than the league average at 97. That's not what you want out of a cleanup hitter. And because of his age, he no longer runs like he once did. So that's another concern for the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is a lineup filled with either unproven youngsters or aging veterans. We all know the best young pitcher in baseball plays for the Pirates, and that's Paul Skeens, who's been everything and more. He's even putting in 2 new pitches this year. When Skeens is on the mound, I have no problem backing Pittsburgh, but everybody else feels that way too, so you're not going to get a lot of betting value in doing that. Jaron Jones also had an impressive rookie season, but he did fade in the second half of the year. 22-year-old Bubba Chandler is expected to make the team sometime early in the season. In fact, I read an article today that thinks he will break camp with the Pirates, and that should help. But after those starting pitchers, it really dries up fast. They did sign Andrew Haney in the last couple of days. He'll give you innings. That's what they need. So that helps them a little bit here. But other than that, the starting pitchers are not something that I trust, and I'll be going against those pitchers on a regular basis if it's not the top 3 or 4 here. When you take a look at the bullpen, closer David Bednar has been a bullpen ace for years, but injuries have really taken a toll on the clubhouse leader lately. He's coming back this year. I like him as a combination with Dennis Santana and Colin Holderman. But after that, we don't see a lot of positives. So the back end for Pittsburgh's good. The front 3 starters are very good. I don't like the offense at all. Pittsburgh won 76 games a year ago, but the Pythagorean number only has them winning 73. And we just don't see this team being better now than they were a year ago. So we're going to play the under 77.5 in Pittsburgh. Sorry, Marco, but going against the Pittsburgh Pirates this season.
Just trying to upset everybody at WagerTalk with their teams. All jokes aside, Bryan Leonard. I love texting Bryan when I'm going to go to a baseball game. Bryan, who do you like? Oh, I need a bet on the game. And he speaks my language because he bets the underdogs. Bryan, if somebody's going to buy your season package at WagerTalk, kind of let them know what they're going to get, because I never complain about plus money baseball plays. That's where I'm really risk adverse. I don't like laying that big chalk, and I know you don't either.
If you're new to the moneyline sports, hockey and baseball, it's hard to make money by playing the favorites. We see it all the time. This is not like the NBA or the NFL where the best team wins 80% of the time. It just doesn't happen that way. And because you have 10 different starters as the season goes on for each team in Major League Baseball, you basically have 10 times as many teams to handicap. That's what we do for a living. We bet underdogs. Last year we had 56% on our underdogs, the plus money. So anytime we're betting a plus 101, 51 or 56% and higher on the season for all those underdogs we play some regular favorites also, obviously, when we see value in it. It's just not the underdogs. But we've had a lot of success. Number one at WagerTalk the last 2 years combined in Major League net profit. Over the entire life of WagerTalk, number one in Major League Baseball net profit. So you can get all of our baseball from now through the World Series at a special rate on our website, as you can see up on the screen right now. Get everything for only $599 in this extreme early bird special right now. Even better, we're not only number one since WagerTalk started in baseball, number one in the NHL in net profit also. So you're going to give you baseball and hockey for just $1 more, $600. You get all baseball through the World Series, all hockey through the Stanley Cup Championship, everything, the Moneyline Sports from Bryan Leonard for only $600, and you can't beat that deal at all.
Great stuff from Bryan. Head over to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Check out all of our other baseball videos that we have up, whether there's teams you need to bet against, there's teams that you need to be betting under on, and teams that you need to be betting on. Thank you to Bryan Leonard. Good luck this baseball season.